Hello everybody, I do know that this series is called Win at Chess, but I think this one should be a Lose at Chess. I did lose quite a few games on time, but the opening, middle game, end game still really instructive. I think I went from playing at like 1,500 to around 2,000, so quite a few levels there. This was taken from a stream. I stream every Tuesday at 8 PM. Let's get on with it. With this Win at Chess stream, I think I'll bring it back to the basics a little. I'll start like taking it back to its roots, so I'm going to play some lower rated players and sort of walking through my thoughts in those games. I think that'd be a bit more instructive for those of the people that are watching. So you just need to go here and try and find, this would be good, casual. I'm going to play a 1500. I'll wish them good luck. Hello to everybody in chat. Love the black pieces. My opponent goes to e4, I'm going to play c5. This Sicilian defense is really good in any rating range. Opponent plays c4, so they're probably going to try and go for d4 or something like this. I'm going to play knight c6 to temporarily stop that. This is interesting. How can you enchant my bishop? Bishop g7. It's got the Maroxid behind this, but I'm not sure my opponent will do a good enough job of preventing d5, because I think I can play it in this position. I'll go for that right now. If you get Sicilian, as a general rule, if you can get in d5, you're doing quite well and you should go for it. So the opponent decides to close it down, but now I think this is a little bit of a what do you call it, a sort of positional mistake, and it's something that I suppose these 1600s aren't really tuned into. But this, my dark squared bishop is bad at the minute, but it can be quite useful putting pressure on the centre. I'm going to break with f6. These knights would be quite good in getting into these like centre dark squares and such. And this light squared bishop is blocked in by its own pawn, and this dark squared bishop is blocked in by its own pawn. So I'd say that I have a slight advantage here because of that. I'm going to castle here, just to stay safe. So my opponent attacks this weak c5 pawn. I'm going to defend it. My opponent, I suppose, my opponent's best plan here would be to try and fianchetto this bishop onto this diagonal. My opponent goes for b3 themselves. Okay, I'm going to jump in here. I'm threatening knight c2. This will just sort of make it a little hard for my opponent to move. My bishop will be quite good on this long diagonal as well. So the first question is, how does my opponent prevent my knight coming here? A king move, maybe? A rook move? The rook's got to be careful moving, because then I win the a2 pawn. And when my knight comes to f5 to come into here, this bishop is attacked as a tempo gain. Okay, that's an interesting move. I'm just going to take this pawn. Wherever my opponent moves their rook, I'm just going to come back. Yeah, I'm coming back, I'm attacking the rook. And now I'll probably go for f6, opening up my bishop that's been locked in. It's okay for my opponent not to take, but I would definitely consider him to take, and then if pawn takes, sacrifice the exchange. Maybe knight c6 as well, to defend, sort of help out this knight over here. Okay, that's interesting. That is a good move by my opponent. I think I shouldn't have been so hasty to take. Maybe I should have played knight c6 to defend first and put more pressure on the centre. But here I'm 2 pawns up. If the knight takes, then I win this pawn, and if pawn takes, I'm not sure if this is the best, but I think it would be useful in showing off sort of endgame, because endgames go a far way no matter what level that you're playing at. So I have the bishop pair here, and it's very strong. It's a very strong bishop pair. I'm going to go for this check here, force the king out into the open. So the knight blocks. That's an okay move. I would like to exploit this pin, but I'm not sure if there's any easy way to do so. I think that what I want to do right now is to play knight c6 and then jump into the d4 square. I think that'll cause some problems for my opponent there. So this is quite an active manoeuvre by my opponent. They're gonna, once I retreat here, they might bring their rook out here, which sort of makes me ask myself the question of whether it's better to just retreat back to... In fact, no, this would look okay if I come back to f6. I was thinking of maybe bishop f4, but yeah, my bishop's good on f6. On the long diagonal, it takes away quite a lot of squares from my opponent, and this is what I was on about earlier about active pieces. You just want to have more active pieces than your opponent. You see here that my bishop controls a lot of squares, and I don't want to have a trade. I want to play king f7 and lose this very strong bishop. So for that reason, I'm going to drop it back, or I could come forward. But for the safety of the piece, I think I'm just going to come back to g7. Knight e4 and knight d4 next. And this is a very nice central dark square. I'm not sure how my opponent parted ways with their dark squared bishop. Oh yeah, here. But when this happened, since I've got so many dark squared pawns, the opponent found themselves with lots of dark squared weaknesses. And now with one in the centre. So as soon as I see that move, I'm immediately thinking, I've got a dark squared bishop and these pieces on the exact same diagonal. But unfortunately bishop c3 doesn't work just quite yet, because the knight defends that square. But it's important to think, is there any way that I could remove that knight from the defence? I'm going to start out by playing lots of moves that seem quite good here. I think this one could be quite good, threatening here and then threatening this b3 pawn as well. And also this move, knight e4, threatening the rook and this fork. The rook drops back. I'm going to come here since it also defends d7, so then I can play bishop b7 and there's absolutely no infiltration squares for this rook on the d file. That's another nice thing in endgames, to control your opponent's infiltration squares. And often if you can get a rook or even two rooks on the 7th/2nd rank of your opponent, you do very well. I had in the chess tournament I've been playing, I've just finished round 5, but since I'm a little short on time, I'm probably going to end up covering it tomorrow. But I had a game, I think it might have been round 3 or round 2, where I got 2 rooks on the open file and did quite well for myself. I thought that was a mate then, I was a bit scared, but no, I can just move my king here. This rook can come here, but my opponent's getting quite a bit of activity, but I don't think there's any problems. My opponent retreats the rook all the way back. But now I've got a nice move, so I'm going to play... Oh no, never mind. That was a bit silly. I was thinking of... Could I do this? Alright, okay, I found a nice continuation. So I'm going to play bishop h6 first. I'm trying to get this rook away from the defense of this f3 pawn, where it would be a fork of this rook on h6. And if the rook comes down to f6 where it's defended by the knight, then I have the very nice move bishop g5, where I'm attacking the rook's trapped, and if the knight takes, it loses defense of this rook. So this is probably a tactic that you wouldn't see at like the 1600 level, but it's still nice. It's a great idea to practice your puzzles and your tactics, because they'll always serve you well in games. So my opponent can win this pawn here, but that's not something I'm concerned about. I'm actually going to bring my king further up. This bishop can't come to check me, because my knight defends here and there's a pawn here. This knight also finds itself a bit trapped. These 2 squares are taken away and the knight doesn't really want to come here. Okay, I'm going to bring my bishop to b7. I'll attack this pawn. Opponent defends it, that's fine, but now the the knight over here is trapped, I believe. My king, that's very active on f4, controls both of these squares. Make sure you get your king active in endgames, as it's a very important piece to have active. so my opponent realises that it's trapped, I'll win this piece here. I suppose my opponent's trying to get this check, but that's no problem. I'll just drop my king back to f6. I'll probably do a video on like Magnus Carlsen and how to calculate as well. Over the time of my tournament, I've had all these ideas of like nice content that I could make. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. I'm looking forward to making the videos actually. I probably will have to slow down the sort of speed of the content, the consistency of uploading is what I meant to say, just since I'm going to be a little busy over the next few months, but I'll definitely try and put a video out every few days or so, definitely. I don't want to bring my knight back to here since the rook can then infiltrate, so I'm going to bring it back to here and then maybe go for this dark square if there's any way I could do that. Maybe bring my rook back. I'm going to move my knight here because I think that it would be quite successful on the f4 square. If white tries to infiltrate now, then this is a discovered attack. Yeah, I'll win the rook. I'm really enjoying the tournament so far though. As I said, just finished round 5 and things are going pretty well. I always find that tournaments, if you can ever play in an over the board tournament, I understand that some people can't, but they'll make you a lot better at the game than playing online. I find that I'm sometimes a little weaker over the board than online though. I think it's just how the pieces are set out and such. So yeah, I'll just trade this off. I'll bring my rook here now, I'm attacking this pawn and then I'll just queen here. I'll get a ladder mate. Don't think my opponent can stop this pawn now. Yeah, so they resigned. So I'm just going to have a little look back. So we had, this was a little questionable because you see c4 here leaves no defense of this d4 square, and you find that later on in the game these dark squares became very weak. Knight e3, this is just normal development. h3 was a bit of a questionable move since I'm not really threatening to get my knight into there anyway. And d3, I mean this is fine. I suppose it's just a system that my opponent's playing. e6, f4, my opponent shouldn't have allowed d5, but I think after f4 they've already overextended a bit too much. But I believe that a move, I think queen f3 would stop any sort of further d5, because that's the entire point of the Maroczy pawn. You try and restrict your opponent from playing d5 in like these Sicilian type structures, and then from here just trade the queens off and I managed to exploit these weak dark squares. I did an exchange sacrifice and then I won back the material after a while with this nice tactic. And then yeah, this was the nail in the coffin really, this discovered attack here. So I hope you found that game quite instructional. I'm going to hop into another one now, but I need to go back to the lobby and find an opponent. So I just faced like a 1500, so I'll try and get a 1700, 1800 for this game. In quite a reasonable time control as well. Preferably. This is 20 plus 7, so I don't want to go into that. I'll play a 1920. It's quite a big step up, but I should be able to go down a little bit after this as well. So we have the black pieces again. See what my opponent plays. d4. So d4 is you see it all the time really. Knight f6. I used to play the Nimzo with that's after c4, e6, knight c3, and bishop b4. I really recommend it for this edgy sort of climbing, but then I decided to choose the Grunfeld instead. I just really like the sort of dynamicness that you can get it. That's after c4, g6, knight c3, and then all of this stuff. There's loads of theory though. So I'm just going to play g6, try and transpose to my Grunfeld. Don't know. So this is... I'm not entirely sure what to do. There's a free course on the Grunfeld on Chessable, Peter's Fiddlers. just released part 2 on like all the anti-rune threads, or like what your opponent does if they don't do what you expect. But I haven't fully studied it yet, so I'm not very familiar with this. Do I want to develop my bishop? Or I'm going to play c5. It's just thematic. It's probably not right. So my opponent wants to fianchetto. I think that's quite a reasonable plan. There's no real way I can punish it or stop it. So I'm just going to expand in the centre with d5. I'm going to take this pawn now, because I don't want to. So my opponent plays knight takes, so it's quite instructive here. I think my opponent should have played pawn takes, because although this keeps the bishop open, I now can expand in the centre quite freely. But after that knight here, I don't think I can defend this pawn very well. So I'm going to preemptively, I think, play rook e8, so that then I've already got another defender of this. Yeah, I think rook e8 works. The bishop comes out here. Yep, this is good. So again, the central majority can't go wrong really. We found ourselves quite a nice position. So my opponent wants to even remove the defender of my centre, which is quite a reasonable plan. And sometimes you can lure your opponent into a trap where you allow it, but you get some sort of compensation. I think I'm going to play queen c7 so that I can stay defending this pawn. My opponent shouldn't have given up the bishop like that, I don't believe. c4, so my opponent's trying to strike back and get active, but here I have bishop a6, I think. So I'm pinning this pawn to the rook here. I'm going to move my rook to the b file. This looks quite good. Okay, I'm going to take. This looks... maybe I shouldn't have. But now I'm going to bring my knight here and into here. Oh geez, it's 3+0. Not done a very good job of managing my time here. Okay, I'll just jump in here. This is positionally winning for us though. I'm just going to quickly play some moves. No. I'm sorry for that, because I meant to provide some sort of instruction for these chess games. I didn't realise that it was 3+0. I thought I was prepared for 5-minute chess. But this is the sort of things you want to do against d4. So knight e4 was a mistake that I punished quite nicely with this central expansion. I think it might have been a mistake to take and open up the c file, but I didn't manage to get my knight here. I was expecting the queen to retreat back here, after which I would have probably played e4, kicking this knight, and then grasping like a big control on this weak d3 square. The queen came forward, and I had very little time here. I just played f4 to attack it. The queen came here, and then my opponent just tries to run me out on time. I think my opponent had some sort of rook a1 here, but then I moved my knight back and defend my bishop. That was unfortunate. I'll have to add another sort of 1900 game in there. So let's have a look now. 3+5, that's brilliant. So we played a 1600, like a 1900, so now we got an 1700, 1800. We have the white pieces this time. I am going to play e4. Best by test according to Bobby Fischer. Also, if you just leave it in the stream chat or the like the comment section on the YouTube video, who is your sort of favourite chess player that you'd like a video doing on? Because I could sort of do the moment Magnus Carlsen became world champion, or the moment Fischer became world champion. I think that'd be quite a cool series. At the minute though, I've got quite a few series that I've started and not really There's only one video in there. I need to get back to those. Whoops. So my opponent played knight c6. I'm going to play b4 here. This is the delayed wing gambit. I'll definitely do an opening video on this. It's quite strong. Opponent declines it. So the idea is that if knight takes, then c3 and d4, and then if pawn takes, then it's no longer defending d4 and you get d4. Quite some quite nice lines where you get a lot of central space. I'm wondering if b5 might be a move here. Sort of kicking the knight. I'll play it. I don't know the theory in this line. So opponent goes for this. I'm not sure about that one. This is a very strange opening. My opponent has queen h4 on the cards. In fact, yeah, I think f4 was a mistake since takes. Oh no, this is fine. I'll bring my bishop out to c4. I think it's quite good on this diagonal with all these dark squared pawns in the centre. It sort of laser beams through everything. I'm debating either d3 or queen e2. I think queen e2 is good on the e file. I'll go for this. I think both moves are absolutely fine though. This is harmless. Maybe not. But my opponent's trying to like infiltrate over here. I'm not sure how dangerous that is. I don't think I really have any problems. I mean, my king's quite safe in the centre. Moving my king to d1 might be the safest option. I can just play rook here, and then friend takes and bishop takes. That's what I'm going to do. My opponent doesn't have enough. My opponent's not going to mate me with a bishop and a queen. I've quite an interesting idea now here. Takes, opening up the FL, and then bishop takes d4. After this, I am playing e5. But there are people watching who want to learn about how to beat 1800s. I won't do it. I wouldn't do that. I really want to do it. Sure. I'm sorry. I'm gonna play bishop takes d4. It's a nice idea. Might be losing. It looks quite strong because after the knight moves, then I've got like bishop takes and rook takes, and then oh, that is quite interesting. Might not have seen that move. I don't think I should have gone for the sacrifice. I'm gonna play queen f3 here. So I'm sort of renewing the threat of mate, and I'm attacking this, but queen e6 and queen d7 both save it. Interesting. I think this sort of still serves as a bit of a learning experience though, about not going for these sort of sacrifices. I think that's a mistake by my opponent, because I take back and then putting more pressure on this pinned piece. It's pinned both ways. I'm going to move my rook to the c file. I've got a bit of a cheeky idea here, I think. Let's say bishop e7, bishop c5. I'm thinking about d4 takes, bishop takes, rook takes. Then can I play rook here? I can't calculate that far. My thoughts are d4, and after all these trades, the rook comes on the c file, the queen can't take, because then there's like some. I'm gonna give it a go d4. I suppose the bishop can just come here though. It depends. Doesn't matter. So my opponent takes it. I think bishop e4 was good for my opponent. I think this is okay. It might end in a perpetual actually, since the king will be so open. Oh. The rook can, in fact, come back. But now I'll take, and then I think I'm okay. It might be a perpetual. Because now I come here, and if the king moves. All part of the plan. Alright, so it's a draw by repetition. I'm gonna have a little. There we go. So we've got the draw. You shouldn't be playing sacrifices like bishop takes d4. That just didn't work, but we managed to bring it back somewhat. This was meant to be instructional, but I don't think anyone should be taking advice from this. So it's a delayed win Gambit. I think f4 was, yeah, I was just sort of breaking. This was interesting. So, I shouldn't have done that. I think the best call of action was c3, just attacking this. Let's say c3, bishop, c3, bishop c5. Yeah, then this is good. Since I'm putting pressure on the centre, and if bishop here, then like the bishop trades, and then I get e4 for free without having to sacrifice anything. So if I had my time again, I would have played c3. Okay, this is interesting. I'll probably play. I'll play one more game against. What shall I play against? Shall I play against like a 1400, or I play against a 2000 maybe? We'll see what comes up on the lobby. That's rated, that's 15 plus 10. Let's see here. I'll accept this game because I had a game against a 1900 where I lost on time, so hopefully I can be a bit more useful this time. E4, C5. So this move here, I think it's called the McDonald attack. It's an anti-Sicilian, and look, sharing a bit of wisdom here. But if you are playing against someone who does this, let's say under 1500, like no promises, but you should play the move E5. And I've sort of gotten into the bad habit of playing this move. So after knight F3, I think, well, it's fine. But if E5 and takes, then you've got queen out here. Let's say G3, then you take here and you're gonna win the rook. It's a fork. But I'm thinking about a more sort of solid and safe and better advice for what to play against this. So I think that against this sort of McDonald attack with F4, you should, let's say you play the Najdorf, you should go for like an A6 setup. You should just play your Sicilian against it, but you gotta sort of think on every move whether this move would apply. So I think you could still play like the Najdorf, sorry, I just bumped my mic. You could still play like the Najdorf I think it's called the 3-piece system, where it's like this and then Queen C7. Against this, I am going to play. I'm going to play G6. Since I played the dragon, I'm going to go for something I'm familiar with. That's an odd move. I'm going to go for D6 just immediately. I don't want my opponent to have enough time to sort of keep this all in check. Yeah, this is fine. I'm tearing it. I've removed the defender off the centre and I'm just going to break everything open. That's interesting. Moving my rook to the c file, it would be quite useful here. Takes. And now it's quite an interesting question whether I should tape out with the rook or tape out with the c-pawn. I'm going to tape out the c-pawn. I think it gives me a bit more central control. And all these pieces my opponents are on the back rank. I've got to be careful. But I don't think I've got any problems here. The opponent's just going a bit hyper aggressive. I'm going to move my knight out to here, I think. So I have to take some defending f7. Now I tape out the h-pawn castle. I'm not sure if this attack works for my opponent, to be absolutely honest. I mean, I think I can just castle. Like, I mean, there's a pawn on f5 and a pawn on e6, but I'll just castle. My opponent's playing a little too aggressive, and I think they're going to get punished for that. None of these pieces are out. And I can end up with quite an active position here. Do I want to take with the f-pawn here and leave this e6 pawn? I think I can, because although in some scenarios this pawn could be useful in sort of getting a piece here, I'm not afraid of my opponent's pieces. They're hardly developed. So I'm going to actually accept the rook trade here, just so that my opponent's only active piece is the queen. I'm going to play queen b6. Bring this rook to the f-file. Yeah, my opponent's in trouble here. So I just sort of parried the threats in the opening. Dissolved it into an endgame. We're all good. So I can just take this pawn here. I'm not sure if that's what I want to do. I will do. I'll cash in. I mean, it's just a free pawn. And I think the rook might be trapped along with it. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So f4, it's just something that's played by people who don't know the Sicilian theory, I think. I think bishop e2 was better here, my opponent, but this is fine. I'm just d6. I normally play d6 a bit later on, but it's just useful for cracking open this immediately, sort of. So I can take the rook. I'm going to take this bishop actually, because then I can always come back and cause more damage. My queen. Had he taken the rook, then knight develops, and I think that taking the bishop is the better way to be playing. I'm with my queen. Yeah, I'm with my queen here. My opponent has knight here. Quite interesting. Yep. I'll play a5. Bit low on time here. Hopefully, it's the curse, so whenever I play against the 1900, I'll lose on time. It's 4 + 0 as well. I might want to keep the queen down if I want, like an attack. My opponent's pawn structure is a mess. I think I'm making some safe moves. You just need to make sure that when you're sort of in a time scramble like this, you don't make any moves where your pieces could be under threat. Hopefully there's a mate here somewhere. Nice. Yeah, I think I've got a mate. Yep, that's the only move. No, I'm going to lose on time. You're just gonna have to sort of fill in the moves. Like, you're just gonna have to pretend that I won that one. But here, obviously, we're a queen and we're completely winning. So if the king had to come here, then I would have this double check and then come in here for the mate. That's alright. I might play just one more game, try and redeem myself. I'll have a little look at who is on the lobby. So I'm definitely not accepting a 3+0. I will try and get like a 2,200 or 2,100 in blitz. Oh, it's same guy. Right, okay. I can redeem myself. Wait, did he just play? Yeah, he's the guy who just played F4. Yeah, right, okay. We'll right, here we are again. G6. See if my opponent goes for something different this time. They do? No, they don't. Something different is exactly not what they're going for. That's I think my opponent's already made a little bit of a concession just giving all this bishop. I don't know why that was played. I'm just a bit confused, honestly. I'll bring my knight out here. I think it would be quite useful. Don't know really what to say. I'm not very well versed in this F4 attack. So my opponent's done quite a good job of defending this centre this time. I suppose I can take and then... maybe? I think I could attack this one. Queen A5. Interested to see how my opponent will defend it. I'll check chat, I haven't in a while. Yep, hello, everybody. Bishop D2, that's fine. I'm going to bring my knight out to F4. I'm threatening knight E3. Sometimes if you're playing against a weaker opponent, you can just often make a threat and hope that they don't see it, but my opponent does here. Although this pawn is now somewhat pinned against the queen. I was of course threatening knight E3 within the fork of the queen and the queen and the rook, and win an exchange. I can come here, hope for here, and then come here, but then the rook probably moves here. It's quite an interesting position. I need to take a bit of time to think about it. First off, I'm going to take this pawn. Pawn takes is a reasonable move, and then I'll trade. Or maybe I should have moved my queen back. No, I'll trade. And now... I could take. I'm not scared of f takes, because then I have this. But then if d takes, I might play c4 and go for this. I'm going to take. So opponent does take towards the centre, but I don't think that's the correct choice in this case, because now this bishop's plotting and my bishop is active here. My opponent could get into a bit of trouble for doing that. Or maybe they could get away alright. Forget about this move here. I want to find some way of attacking this knight, or attacking this knight further, and then undefending this. But I think it's quite solid here. I'm going to play here. You get quite some interesting positions from this f4. That's a mistake. I'm forking the king and the knight here. They had to block with a rook to defend, and then I'd win the exchange. So nice, we should be able to convert this endgame. I'll move my bishop to this d5 square. I think it'll be quite good there. I'll just defend stuff. And I'll play e6 and move my bishop back here and offer a trade. Threatening this a2 pawn. Got a very nice solid position here. That's fine. My rook over here defends everything. Might be worth actually allowing en passant to then move my king up. So I use it as an umbrella pawn. Sorry for the lack of commentary, I'm trying to win this. I might be able to. That was very close. I'm proud of the effort that I put up here. But again, this 4+0, I'll definitely play a different time control in the next stream. I'm sorry for all the losses in this episode, but anyway, thanks for watching. I'll re-upload this as a winter chess, and then I will upload a video about the round 5 of my tournament, and then round 6, and then we'll get back to the normal content. Thanks a lot for everyone who checked into the stream and watched me lose and play unsound sacrifices. But see you in the next one.